Hello and welcome to all. My name is Primus Crime, and today I would like to find out which of these two amazing upcoming survival horror games, Alien Isolation and The Evil Within, you guys are more excited about. Personally, I have them both pre-ordered and I cannot wait to play them both. Expect to see coverage of them both on this channel. But the reason I'm asking you guys which one you are more excited about is because I have one of them to give away, and there is more details about that towards the end of this video. But before that, I would like to discuss the differences and indeed the similarities between the two. And it's my opinion that I believe the difference is new versus old. And while they're both new games, and what I mean by that is that The Evil Within is like a combination of every horror game I've ever played all rolled into one, which sounds great, you know. Everything from the original Resident Evil right up until you know, the current Dead Spaces, and everything all piled into one with all the same mechanics, and even a few new ones in there, and a demented, twisted story and setting at the same place, which is great, you know, and it's familiar territory, but in a new IP. However, Alien Isolation takes the latest horror genre, popular around with the indie developers, with the first-person, no combat thing, a la Outlast, Amnesia, and various other games like that, and evolves it to a new level, where you only have one enemy, and that enemy does not have scripted sequences. That enemy has its own AI and its own agenda, and the same two people could start this game at the same time and play the same section of the game, and one person might not experience the alien and another person might experience the alien 3 or 4 times. And that sounds appealing even if the rest of the game is rubbish. So, which it won't be. But yeah, that idea just sounds great. And I think that that's what the main appeal between both of these two games are. Now, The Evil Within has the heritage. It is made by Shinzo Mikami, who was responsible for the first Resident Evil, and then again for Resident Evil 4. So this could be the hat trick. This could be, I mean, he's worked on many games, but this could be his hat trick. Could be the rebooting again of the third-person horror genre, survival horror genre. And by the look of it, the gameplay has many survival elements, which we'll get to in a second. However, Alien Isolation does not have that same heritage. In fact, to be honest, it's published by Sega, who they're responsible for screwing up, well, not them solely, I blame Gearbox personally, but they've been responsible for releasing Alien Colonial Marines, or Aliens Colonial Marines, which was a complete, total and utter fucking abortion. The AI in that game was completely off. Too many things to even complain about that game. And I blame Gearbox, I seriously do. If Borderlands 2 could have come out a year later, and it would have been just as successful, and Aliens Colonial Marines, they could have spent another year on it, they could have made it way better, they would have sold twice as many copies, Borderlands 2 would have been just as successful, and Gearbox would be a better, more credible company. However, I hate them, I'm not buying Borderlands 3, fuck them. Enough on that. So, Creative Assembly, who have never done a horror game before, as far as I knew. They've never done first person before. I don't even think they've done sci-fi before. Would have to look into that. So, this is all new for them. However, I know, after watching hundreds and hundreds of interviews with them, that they are massive Alien fans, which is what this game deserves. This game is being made by fans of the movie, the original movie, and there is a huge difference between Alien and Aliens. Alien, the first one in the series, is a horror film. Aliens, the second one in the series, is an action film. Same as Terminator. The Terminator is a horror film. Terminator 2 is an action film. And I think that's where the two games are completely separate. Aliens Colonial Marines, it has horror elements, but it's all out action. It's about shooting waves of aliens with big pulse rifles, and you're a big butch-ass Marine. The character of Alien Isolation is not a bigger butch-ass Marine. It's actually Ellen Ripley's daughter. who I've no idea how adept she is at fighting, but it's not a game about combat. She's there to investigate the disappearance of her mother, and inadvertently she ends up going through the same strife her mother did, by the looks of this game, which just sounds appealing, you know. Whereas on The Evil Within, you are capable. You are a police officer who is sent in to investigate a murder or a group of murders, and then you witness all of your colleagues being murdered, and then the game progresses from there. With a title like The Evil Within, in speech marks, that the within part, I do believe that there's a lot of psychological elements here. I believe that it's a lot of this, these enemies and these horrific sights are in the guy's head, and you know, a la Dead Space. Like I said, they took inspiration from every game and pulled it into one, which it's not necessarily a bad thing. But yeah, I do believe that it's a lot of psychologicalness, which makes it's a good contrast, because the character is a cop. You know, he is able to handle himself. He does have weapons. There is plenty of combat in this game and plenty of enemy variety. But the psychological elements mean that there are certain elements that he can't control, and I believe there are some enemies that he can't fight. Only a few, but there are some enemies he can't fight, which makes him very vulnerable. Survival horror. And yeah, there are lots of different types of enemies in this game. I mean, I don't know. I haven't got a full list in front of me, but just in this one video, we see like some zombie-esque enemies. We see a big butch dude with a chainsaw. We see some surgeons and some cops. There are a good variety of enemies and characters in this game. Alien Isolation, with a title like Isolation, pretty much says that you're on your own. There's not many people to interact with, even though there are NPCs on this ship, and there's only one alien, the same as the first movie. Only one enemy. And you can't fight it, you can't kill it, you have to run and hide from it, which is just amazing, you know. It's what horror's about. If you could fight it, if you could just shoot it, it wouldn't be a horror game. It would just be an action game. It would be Alien Rage 2, which I personally like. Alien Rage. It got some criticism, but hey. But it's not that game. It's about horror. It's not about combat, and you are more scared when you can't fight the threat that's right in front of you. You have to hide. You have to be vulnerable. That's how fear is created, and it looks like they've nailed that. They have that idea right away. How you can emphasize that in The Evil Within without the psychological elements, I don't know. So that's where the psychological elements really push the horror aspects of it, or the fear aspects of it forward. I do believe that they both are about inventory management, more so with The Evil Within. I think you've got like limited ammo, limited items that you can use to solve puzzles, and apparently there's lots of puzzles, lots of traps that you can as you go through the levels. Some of the traps will attract enemies, and if you get through them without triggering them off, there's a lot of stealth there, you know. That is true in Alien Isolation 2, and I believe that there's a crafting system where you can pick up items and use those items to manipulate your environment to, again, be stealthily and avoid combat, but all the while knowing that the threat is there, creating the horror. Now I would like to discuss the environments. Now, it's my own personal opinion that Alien Isolation has a scarier environment. Not the enemy, just the environment. At The Evil Within, we're talking about a mansion, a crazy Silent Hill-esque world, and an asylum, and some woods, which is all great, but it's all been done before, you know. It's nothing new. It still can be scary, and if it's done right, it can be just as scary as a spaceship. But however, it's what you expect. You're more looking for the enemies than you are looking at the woods, and you're looking at the mansion itself. Whereas I believe players who are playing Isolation will be distracted by the elements of the spaceship. People are actually going to walk around this movie set, if you will, and they're going to be distracted by the elements here, and that just puts you in a whole nother genre when it comes to scares. So that could be really great too. I think they both have some excellent art style when it comes to the level design and the environments, and Evil Within certainly looks fantastic and the levels look great. Which brings us on nicely to the giveaway. As with the last giveaway, it's only open to subscribers, so if you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button, and in order to enter you just have to leave a comment on this video, and your comment must include the game that you think should win. Any comments with both games mentioned will not be entered, so in order to enter you have to have either Alien Isolation or Evil Within in the comments. Details on the competition and where to view the original game footage featured in this video are in the description below. I've been Optimus Crime. I can't wait to play both of these two games. Best of luck to everybody, and I'll see you soon.